makes me wanna holler, go away. I need more peace and hope and love. Where do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I've got strategies for living, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
Oh, you know we need them? Yeah, we need those strategies, don't we? Those strategies for living. So are you ready? You ready for your daily dose of radio rehab?
Oh, I'm excited and starry-eyed.
Yeah. Oh, there she goes again, Gary.
Can't help myself.
Yeah. Hey, folks, welcome into another edition of Strategies for a Living. I'm Dr. David McMillian. She is psychotherapist, PLPC Lauren Leon McMillian, and showing up again. He's been showing up on a regular basis here lately, and it's good.
I'm kind of like
thankful.
Lint. You can't shake me off.
There you go. Licensed clinical social worker Gary Tiemann, and you're just really outdoing yourself here lately, bringing guests to the strategies table.
I am so excited though because, and I think you'll agree. We've had some really interesting people lately.
I do indeed agree.
And we got another one for you today.
We have today the astrologer to the astrologers.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Yeah, her name is Patty Finlayson, and we'll introduce Patty, but just bottom line, astrologer to the astrologers.
Oh,
who others
she
turn
teaches.
to.
Yeah.
And so very much, we a lot of people know the name Edgar Cayce, of course.
Of course.
And we have invoked that name here recently when you've come on. And so Patty is in that tradition also.
Yes.
And we'll find out more. But this is all part of furthering Walter Simkew's work, right?
Right. And it's through my association with Walter and the Reincarnation research people that I get to meet the people that we've had on here, including, and I'm thrilled to have the acquaintance of Patty here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Patty Finlayson is our life strategist today. We're going to learn a lot. Folks, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you being here, and we appreciate our sponsors making it all possible. The Robinson Film Center, Azalea Cleaners, Pintail Roofing, Learning RX, We Train Your Brain, the Balanced Life Wellness Center, Fertitas Delicatessen, home of the Godfather, Alligator Italian Sausage, pretty good Muffies too, Uprising Addiction Center, and Mira Direct Primary Care. Back in a moment to meet our life strategist today, Patty Finlayson, here on Strategies for Living. Stay with us.
Tune in daily, find the light. Healthy mind and spirits bright. Strategies for living strong. Feel the vibe, it won't go wrong. Body moves and soul align. Catch the rhythm, feel the time. Radio rehab every day. Chase those clouds of gray away. Your daily dose of radio rehab. Lift you up when skies seem drab. Mind and body, spirits free. Living life in harmony.
And welcome into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian, Gary Tiemann. Let's welcome into the program now Patty Finlayson. She is Patty the astrologer, an astrologer to astrologers. She's a trusted advisor to many for over 40 years now. Whether you're an experienced astrologer or you're new, Patty would love to get to know you and help you gain more insight about astrology and your life and your soul's purpose. And yes, astrology can do all of that. And Patty has a wonderful website, pattytheastrologer.com. She's also got a book that you may want to check out, Meeting of the Minds Through the Signs, using astrological keywords to unlock the power of communication. Man, we need that today.
Oh, boy, do we.
Patty Finlayson, welcome. Welcome to Strategies for Living.
Welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm grateful that you invited me.
Well, you know, Gary, has been pulling,
pestering.
and dragging all kinds of folks here lately.
Wonderful folks.
And wonderful folks. And when he told us about you, Patty, both Lauren and I got very, very excited.
Yes.
I've been intrigued, I guess, with astrology for a long time.
Yes.
I
So
have
do
a
I.
lot of respect for astrology, even though I know just the superficial aspects of it. I depend on people like Patty to help me through the more important stuff about it.
You know, I remember my mother every day reading the little astrology.
I read those as a kid in the living section.
And you know, my suspicion is those are just very, very basic. But how do those, Patty, how do those differ from the kind of work that you do, more in depth and diving into the signs?
Okay, well, what the columns do and what my weekly newsletter does is take the planets in the sky, make relationships with each other, and without getting technical, that's what we use for the everyday things where we're not strategizing, as you call it, for a personal person. However, when a person asks me to do we call the horoscope the chart, it's extremely specific.
Right.
Because when you're born, your horoscope is very specific for you. And when the planets in the sky make a relationship to the planets in your chart, in your horoscope, it is glaringly specific to we astrologers. And of course, with the thousands of years of records that were kept, and with all the experience I have, we know what the planets are going to do and what that relationship means to you personally. And that's how I interpret it for the highest good of whoever is asking for a chart.
I can remember, what was it, the 80s, where astrology really got pumped up because it got a lot of press when President Ronald Reagan was elected, and his lovely wife, lovely First Lady Nancy, had a personal relationship with an astrologer. And I think they kept that under wraps for a while.
It came out, though.
But it did come out, and you know, from a lot of people, I think got paid more attention after that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we also had Shirley MacLaine writing her books and visiting places, and she added to that.
Absolutely.
What led you, Patty, first to astrology? What's your coming into astrology? What did that look like and feel like for you?
Oh, gosh, it was way back in the 1970s, and I picked up a book called Linda Goodman's Sun Signs, and I thought, oh, this is just too accurate. So I found a local astrologer here in Delaware and had my horoscope done, and it was absolutely amazed. And then after my life turned upside down, I decided to come to local astrologers and took lessons. And it took off from there. As soon as I took lessons, the other students started to ask me to do their horoscope or chart for them. And then they paid me for it. So I became professional immediately.
Wow. So
back in 1980, yeah.
So you kind of took a personal life tumble, tragedy, whatever you want to call it.
It was written in their chart,
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And having gone through, and I've lived long enough, and I took lots of records of when something important happened to me, what were the planets doing, and so that helped me learn also. I spent 8 hours a day all summer studying and writing, and before I actually advertised. So I advertised it, and now I have clients, and I'm on the radio show, and we as professional astrologers get together. We have a wonderful time with it. It's just part of our lives.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd like to add, too, in our reincarnation research, she's been helpful, and we're going to be utilizing her more in terms of when we think we have a past life connection,
Yeah.
comparing the charts of the present day with the past life person.
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
we found some really interesting stuff with that so far, and we're just scratching the surface on that.
That's neat.
Wow.
What do you look for?
Yeah.
What do you look for, Patty, in a birth chart? If I've got my chart in front of me, what am I looking for to recognize past life layovers?
Oh, past life. There is a specific. Well, the whole chart is what you want to accomplish this lifetime, but there is one particular part in your horoscope that indicates the series of past lives that you've had that are important to this lifetime, and the sign that symbol is in tells us. It would tell you have the qualities of this sign as an innate talent in your life. You're innately able to do that. You don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And then we look at the moon and we figure out, well, the moon is your reaction point. And then with a client, what I do is, what is the most important thing that you want to talk about today? And we talk about that, and then I go through the whole chart. I mean, it's very intricate, but I go through the whole thing.
You know, one of the things that I think is important is the practicality. Astrology is not only a practical modality, but it's also a very accessible modality.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
And
It's a tool.
you know, we can spend, and I have spent hundreds of dollars with Gary trying to figure out who I am. But sometimes I leave his office, I'm more confused than when I came in. No.
Just means I've done my job.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
That's it.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It is both practical and accessible, isn't it, Patty?
Yes, and especially with the internet now, you can look up almost anything on the internet with astrology. But when you come to a personal consultation, that's when we get into the dialogue and we talk. And sometimes a person will make a comment, and that'll trigger something that I see in their chart, and then we will dialogue and talk about that more in depth. And it's been very helpful to the people that I read for.
Mm-hmm. Now, I mentioned earlier your connection with ARE, the Edgar Cayce research.
Yeah.
How did you get tied into that, the Edgar Cayce organization?
Back in I joined them in 1976, and that's when I started searching around for something different. Mind you, I already had my own business running, but I thought about that time the marriage was not right. There's something, it niggles at you underneath. Something isn't right in my life. Let's look for something. So I found that book, and that's the book and at the same time that I found Linda Goodman's book, I found somehow, because we didn't have the internet yet,
Right.
I found Ed Cayce, and then I thought, I want to go down there. I live in Delaware, and they're south of Delaware in Virginia Beach.
Right.
And so I signed up for their newsletters, and Hugh Lynn was still alive then, and the newsletters were very funny. He was really humorous. So after my life changed, I actually went to Virginia Beach to a conference, and that started it. That was in My first conference was in 1980, and I felt home there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you go somewhere and you say, oh,
yeah,
you know. And I got very involved. I still have an Edgar Casey study group, their spiritual study group here in Wilmington, but we do it on Zoom. And so, but I found the readings and the people that I met to be extremely helpful in pulling me through the couple of years of getting over the trauma. So I shouldn't have called it trauma.
How fascinating that you can take the material that you can read from the astrological charts and overlay it with, Casey's treasure trove of, is there anything that, Casey didn't leave us something on? I don't know. Easier to find what he didn't than what he did. We are
No.
We're with Patty Finlayson, astrologer today. She's an astrologer to the astrologers. You can find her at pattytheastrologer.com. You can also find her book on Amazon, Meeting of the Minds Through the Signs, using astrological keywords to unlock the power of communication. Great book for today. But stay with us. We've got lots more to learn today from Patty Finlayson, right here on Strategies for Living.
Facing the same old problems day to day makes you wanna holler, get away. Looking for the road that'll get me there. Looking for hope and peace to spare. Looking for strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
And welcome back in to Strategies for Living Radio. Lauren Leon McMillian and Gary Tiemann, David McMillian, our life strategist today here on Strategies for Living, Patty Finlayson. She is an astrologer to the astrologers. That tells you something. pattytheastrologer.com is the way that you can find out a whole lot more information and book a session with her if you're so inclined. Patty, I'm wondering if I come to you and I want I'm intrigued. I've got something in my life going on. What's the process? What happens when I start work with you? How does that work?
Okay. The way it works in the very beginning is you call me on the phone to make an appointment, and we have a short conversation about what you're interested in, and then we make the appointment so that we schedule your time for a reading. And my readings are done on Zoom for a good reason. Mm-hmm. Before the reading, I send the person I'm going to read for a copy of their horoscope. And if they're asking about the year ahead, which most people do, I send them the two pages of dates for the year ahead, and recommend that they print those dates so they can write notes during the reading.
Mm-hmm.
Then on our Zoominar, or when we're on Zoom and we're both looking at the same thing, I'll just start describing and interpreting and describing everything and pointing it out with the mouse, so that it's hopefully clear to them, because many people aren't familiar with all the symbols. So to me, that like the symbol for Saturn looks like a chair, the symbol for Jupiter looks like a 4, and that helps them recognize. And then in as little astrology talk as possible, I describe what is happening in their lives, what the phases are, and the exact dates. They come away with exact dates.
Wow.
And there is a point, you mentioned this before, there is a point in the chart that indicates past lives. Mm-hmm. And that symbol indicates to us, and to the client especially, what innate or talents and characteristics they have in their makeup that they may not even know about. There might be an artistic situation there, and I say, oh, you're very artistic, and blah, blah, blah. And they say, oh, I didn't know that. I said, well, try this or that. And then we get into the other things that they're interested in.
So just out of curiosity, Patty, are you talking there about the north and the south nodes? Is that what
the south node is past? Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's the really one of the reasons I want to consult you, because I have this wife who's a psychotherapist, and I have this crazy psychotherapist named Gary that I go to that keeps telling me that I need to look into past lives, but I don't have the foggiest idea of where to start. So this would be a starting place.
And I'll add that Patty has done my chart. We're doing some research on one of my possible past lives, and it's been invaluable in helping us understand that.
Oh, okay.
We'll be talking about that down the road sometime.
Well, that's a little tease. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, inquiring minds want to know. You know,
I guess we'll have to wait.
But I think that's fascinating. And again, this can be done. You guys touched on this last segment because you're working, Gary, you and Patty, as well as Kevin Ryerson and some of our other past guests. You're working to continue the wonderful work of Walter Sinque,
Absolutely.
Reincarnation research.com.
Reignite Reincarnation. Yeah, we've got a couple things going now.
Right. So, and actually, I find this fascinating that, Patty, you are part of the advisory board now, and you're advising the advisory board about a particular time to, how
to make decisions and move forward.
Yeah.
Recently, we incorporated a new 501(c), and with Patty's direction, we decided what day to do that.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I think that's something that more businesses, people could utilize and don't realize the benefit of that. Patty can help explain the benefit of that.
Since we're talking about my wanting to consult, and I don't expect you to answer this exactly, but is my work with you going to break the bank? I mean, is it ultra expensive, or is it on the more reasonable side?
It's very reasonable. I'm one of the few astrologers at my level of experience that I don't charge an arm and a leg. My fee is $153 for an hour, prorated for less or more time. Yeah.
Wow. And in addition to that, you spend, I know from the website, and by the way, folks, pattytheastrologer.com is the website. I noticed from the website that you put a lot into, could we call it education, helping people understand astrology and the importance of it. But then you even go beyond that. You do a newsletter that people can sign up for. And you were sharing with us between breaks that coming up in the later in the spring and on into the year, you're going to start doing some Zoominars where people can participate in and ask questions and dialogue and learn more. So there's opportunities like that all throughout, and people can go and sign up for that newsletter at your website. Is that right?
That's right. That's correct.
So, again, and that's pattytheastrologer.com.
Yes. Here again, I'm a satisfied customer, and I highly recommend. It's I think astrology is one of those things that doesn't get taken seriously by very many people. But once you start digging into it, and then you realize, the role that astrology has played throughout history. The Buddhists are very much involved with astrology, and it's one of the ways that they find the new Dalai Lama when he's born after the previous one has died. That's that's part of the technique that they use.
Wow.
Yeah. It seems to be working.
I would say it's worked out pretty well
Yes.
from what I know. What, Patty, do you, you've done this a long time. Do you ever get surprised? Do you ever go, wow, when you uncover an aspect, let's say you're working with a client, or you're working with Gary, or you're working with Lauren or myself, are you doing work for yourself, which I presume you do on an ongoing basis?
Oh yes, of course.
What are
And the aspect. Go ahead.
What are some things that have jumped out at you and surprised the heck out of you about this stuff?
Well, what surprised me in the beginning after I finished taking lessons and started delving into my chart and going back and at dates, is the fact that, what in the 80s, what came out was the midlife crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And the midlife crisis is obvious in people's charts between the age of 38 or 39 and 41 or 42, because 2 or 3 of the outer planets, which are Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, and sometimes Saturn, all converge and create changes. They don't create anything, but they indicate that your soul is asking you to go through changes.
Yeah.
Right.
How mine came about was a surprise to me in my life. But when I deal with clients, I love dealing with people one-on-one with their horoscopes. And I ask the clients a lot of questions. Now, I say, now, this happened here at this time in your life astrologically. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
What was the situation, and how did you handle it? And that gives me an insight into how the person is going to handle their year ahead, or some of the difficult situations in their natal chart. And sometimes I am beautifully surprised by how well most of the people are handling their situations.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's interesting. It's interesting because the astrology that you practice is that we choose the lifetime before
Correct.
Incarnation, but we kind of forget the fine print. We
forgot which
yeah,
is it.
we forgot.
Yes.
And so doing a personal astrology with that layer on top of it can really be rich, I would think, in showing not only this lifetime, but if I could use the K word, the karma of, accumulated lives.
Well, that past life point is not your karma. The karma in your chart is Saturn, and we look at that to see. That reveals a lot, and it depends on the sensitivity or the of the client, how I work with that, because some people have a beautiful Saturn in their horoscope, and that means their karma was wonderful. Some people, like me, have a very difficult Saturn in their chart, and how did we handle responsibility? I started at 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So the Casey, the fact that I went through being at the ARE with the Casey readings and learning astrology this lifetime at the same time was very helpful for me to integrate what you're talking about, not only past lives, but the North Node shows us what our aspirations are for this lifetime, and help the client to use that North Node symbology. So this is what your soul wants you to develop. Not necessarily, it's not anything to do with the career. It's about the fruits of the spirit. This is what you're being asked to develop this lifetime. It's not hard.
This is the business you need to be going about. PattyTheAstrologer.com. Patty Finlayson, our life strategist today. We're learning a lot, but there's more to come here on Strategies for Living with Patty Finlayson. And we'll be right back. Stay with us.
We all have problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies Strategies for living radio.
And welcome back in. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, Gary Tiemann, David McMillian. Our life strategist today, Patty Finlayson, pattytheastrologer.com. Great website. Lots of people want to know more about astrology, and this would be a very, very good starting place. pattytheastrologer.com. And Patty's book, Meeting of the Minds Through the Signs, using astrological keywords to unlock the power of communication.
That's a good segue because we've talked a lot about individual astrology and we've touched on the group astrology, working, like with Gary said, with his group. Something we haven't talked about, Patty, that I'm interested in is the idea of relationships and how can astrology, and in particular, I guess it's the synastry charts, right? The overlaying. What can those tell us about relationships?
Astrology is very helpful, nicely helpful in relationships, because the way I manage it when I'm doing that with people is analyze the client's horoscope and then analyze the relationship they are asking about if they have that birth information, and comparing the specific astrological planets back and forth with each other. And then I'll do the synastry, which is the combination of the two charts. And the synastry lets people know how they are seen by other people, like a marriage. How is the marriage seen, or seen by other people? And I did my synastry with my husband after the divorce with my husband, and I thought, this is uncanny. It was so accurate. It was amazing. But the astrological comparison between two people can be so helpful in highlighting sensitivity parts of the other person's horoscope to the person asking the question, and say, oh, I didn't know they were like that. And of course, when you're looking at a horoscope, you see everything. You see the parents, you see the siblings, you see education, and some marital situations reflect the situation the person I'm reading for had with their parents. And so the relationship comparison chart can highlight that with your chart, and if you have your other person's chart in front of you, I can look at that also. And we could go on with relationship comparison one-on-one in person, or on Zoom actually, could go for a long time because there's so much covered.
Sure.
And I had someone who recently asked for that, and I said, now this partner of yours has a sensitivity in this area. This is what she's like. And it took him almost a year before he realized that, yes, she was really like that. Or she is. She's still alive. So
yeah. Are there particular markers in the synastry charts that may indicate a past life connection?
Well, past life connection, Saturn you always look for Saturn in a comparison chart to see how long the relationship will last. And then you compare both the south nodes. And then you compare the moon. The moon is also a marker for the past, because that's our emotions, and that's how, not only in the family, but it relates what is it inherent in you from the south node is how you express that. Okay. So, did I answer that correctly?
Yeah. I think
or clearly enough, I should say.
That makes sense. I mean, it leads you in a direction of,
You know, one of the things I like to point out is people in our business, we like to say that there are no coincidences. And astrology is just another validation of that idea that we have. And, you know, it backs us up with that. And it's a tool, that we can use.
But I think also that you can get a sense of relief.
It's validation.
And relief when you look and you say, oh, that's the deal,
That's what's going on.
Yes.
I don't want to use the word destiny too much, but there is some aspect of that in this. You know, we come here with purpose,
Yeah.
and Patty helps us understand some of these purposes.
Yeah. And again, nothing is in stone here. This is not, a lot of times, again, going back to my introduction as a kid, those little bitty blips in the newspaper, you know, they almost, some of them almost felt like predictive. And that's what I want people to understand, really, about truly the astrology, true astrology, and what you do, Patty, what a professional astrologer is going to do. Nothing's in stone. This is all information that gives you the ability to have insights that otherwise you wouldn't have. Yeah.
Free will can be a messy thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what's interesting? I'm looking at the horoscope for right now up on my screen, and Uranus is the patron planet of astrology, and the moon is exactly conjunct Uranus right now.
Oh, wow. All right.
And the moon moves. Go ahead.
I gotta ask. We've got a couple of minutes left.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask. You know, a lot of people are talking about this period of time that we're in as being
well, especially with the past, right? On Friday, the kind of rare conjunction that happened on Friday, but then all the other major things that are happening, right?
Yeah. So astrologically, throw some light on that here in the next minute and a half, Patty.
You mean with Saturn and Neptune conjunct in the sky?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about in Aries at the 0 point.
Right, at 0 Aries.
Yeah.
They're still conjunct within a degree, within a half a degree, actually. And Saturn is the planet of responsibility, and Neptune is the planet of creativity and compassion. And I've been writing and hoping that Saturn, with its responsibility, will take responsibility for helping those that need to be fed. Helping those that need help around the world. It hasn't happened yet, but Saturn is our timer. Aries is our impulsive person. Aries wants to do things right now without thinking of consequences. Saturn thinks of consequences. Neptune is kind of dreamy. Neptune is our dancer and our musician and our artist. And and Aries is very creative. So my positive outlook on that is we should see some new developments coming in the creative industry and the artistic and dance industry. But we also have another good thing in the sky. We've got a couple of planets that are in sextile, which means opportunity. We're in a huge time in history in the very early development of the Age of Aquarius, where in spite of what appears to be chaos, new inroads, new inventions, new ways of relieving hard things for people are coming about.
Wow,
it'll take 50 years, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. That's good news. PattyTheAstrologer.com. Patty Finlayson, astrologer to the astrologers. PattyTheAstrologer.com. We will be back to wrap up our conversation today here on Strategies for Living. Stay with us. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Leon McMillian, Gary Tiemann. You've outdone yourself today.
Yes, you have.
Your last few weeks, you've outdone yourself. And you just keep outdoing yourself.
All I have to do is know good people.
Well, you do that.
Patty Finlayson is who you brought today, and talk about good people. Patty is the astrologer to the astrologers, and you can find her at pattytheastrologer.com. You can also find her book at Amazon, Meeting of the Minds Through the Signs, and that's using astrological keywords to unlock the power of communication. Patty, we don't have much time left, but what do you want people to take away from our conversation here today?
Well, I would like the people to know that I love astrology, and my favorite astrology function, I think, is giving readings and helping people understand themselves and what's coming up. And I also love to do the Zoominars, where we have a Zoom meeting where people can ask questions about one certain astrology topic. They're the two things that I love to do the most.
Well, I tell you what,
I'd be happy to have people contact me to be included.
your passion it comes through loud and clear. And I love the fact that when people call you before you book a session, you have a conversation with them. That's neat. And all of that can start at pattytheastrologer.com. Patty, thank you so much for the work you're doing.
Yes.
I look forward to the next time we can be together.
And thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate all of you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, thank you. We appreciate you, and we appreciate our sponsors who make all this possible. The Robinson Film Center, and Azalea Cleaners, and Pintail Roofing, and Learning RX, we train your brain, and the Balanced Life Wellness Center, and Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of the Godfather, Alligator Italian Sausage, and pretty good Muffies, too. Uprising Addiction Center, and Mira Direct Primary Care. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call? And what would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Patty Finlayson, for Gary Tiemann, for Leon McMillian, I'm David McMillian. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.